Call or visit the Hatch and Bailey Company in Norwalk and Stamford, Connecticut.
Chrysler and Jeep vehicles continue to receive more and more and more awards. And now it's time to reward you with the Chrysler and Jeep Rewards program. Now for a limited time, get 0.9% APR financing on select Chrysler and Jeep vehicles. Reward yourself today with one of our award winners. And that's better than carrying around any trophy.
Tomorrow night on Fox Sports Net, Stephon Marbury and the Nets play host to Antoine Walker and the Boston Celtics. Tune in at 7 p.m. for Continental Airlines. Nets game night. Then at 7:30, the Nets and Celtics on Fox Sports Net.
Celtics sneaking back into the playoff picture.
So have the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, but they can't shoot the ball the way the Celtics can.
Yeah, like the Celtics can skate a lick. Armando Benitez on to do the pitching for the Mets in the 8th inning. As he faces Tim Bogart, starts him off with a strike.
Knicks playing some good basketball. Should be some great playoff games.
Bogart a little late. And it's 0-2. Outside to Bogart, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As well as Rick Reed pitched, and with the minimum of pitches that he threw, it's altered the Mets pitching plans for this game somewhat. So it'll be interesting to see what Bobby Valentine does between now and the 9th inning, because originally the plan was for Reed to be followed by Dennis Cook and then Rich Rodriguez, Gerard Riggin, Mark Leiter, and then Benitez. Well, now Bobby Valentine and Charlie Huff have Benitez on in the 8th inning. I would doubt Armando's going to get 2 innings of work here, so we'll probably see one of those aforementioned pitchers in the 9th.
Saw Charlie Huff in the dugout and talking with Bobby Valentine. Looked like they were talking about the way Benitez is gripping the ball.
Either that or Huff's going to teach him a knuckleball.
Wouldn't that be something? Throw a knuckleball, then give him a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. I know one thing the Mets have been concerned about is Benitez's mechanics. He throws a lot with his arm. They're concerned about the strain he puts on his arm. He's big, he's strong, and he's young right now. You can get away with it.
Well, he also came to camp in better shape this year than he did a year ago. Last year, that was a problem. He had signed a new contract, celebrated over the winter. Bogart lines one down the left field line, but that's a foul ball.
And, of course, until he gets the postseason, has a positive, successful postseason, everybody will question the big fella. But he's got good stuff. You see this, he drives to the plate. A great deal of emphasis put on that arm. You know, you look at some of the great pitchers that use their body in support of the arm. Well, Benitez, it's 90% arm. Now, he does pitch 1 inning, so it's not going to be as taxing as, say, a starting pitcher. But when you're young, you can get away with a lot of things.
Hit well to left center, and Bogart's got himself a base hit. This one goes to the wall. Hamilton up with it. Bogart around second. He's going to try for third. The relay throw from Relaford, not in time. Benitez can't field it on the carom, and it finally comes to Todd Pratt. Now, Benitez had backed up Matt Franco at third base. But when Franco missed it, so did Benitez.
That at-bat by Bogart and the way he went around the bases was an example of a veteran player trying out for a team. Bogart wants his triple. Going to do nothing but help him make this ball club. Even though he's a veteran, he's fighting for a job on the Dodger team. Ball hit in the left center field. Bogart did not hesitate at second base, had to play in front of him, and hustled to third with a triple. Benitez, the ball got by Benitez. Took his time getting over there to back up third base. He was pretty close to where Robin Ventura was. When you're real close to that third base, when the ball gets by a third baseman, you're going to have trouble making a play. I should say Franco at third base. Once the ball gets by that third baseman, and if you're not far enough away, you're going to have trouble reacting to that thrown ball.
So Benitez now working to Chad Kruder, who struck out and popped up. The Mets will concede this run. They have the infield back, leading 2-0 here in the 8th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Chad Kruder. And you see Shinjo playing Kruder to pull. A lot of times outfielders will not play hitters facing Armando Benitez to pull. 2 balls, 1 strike. Theory being that he throws so hard that chances are unlikely the hitter's going to pull him. But right there, Shinjo is playing Kruder the way you would normally play a left-handed hitter, with some power. Kruder unable to hold his swing. And the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Kruder's got to make contact in a situation like this, but the splitter falls out of the strike zone, and Kruder cannot hold up.
Got him. Benitez blows Chad Kruder away for the 2nd out. First out.
What a feeling that is when you're a hitter and you chase the ball like that splitter, and then a pitcher comes back and throws you a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Because you got the splitter in the back of your mind and you're trying to react to a fastball.
So with 1 out, it'll be Andy Stankiewicz. He grounded to third and grounded back to the box. Both of his at-bats coming against Rick Reed. Bogart third with 1 away. And a strike, 0-1. Andy Stankiewicz, of course, not a power hitter at all. And so you can see Shinjo now playing to the opposite field pretty dramatically as well against Andy Stankiewicz, with a hard-throwing Benitez on the mound. 0-2 to Stankiewicz. Stankiewicz down on strikes, and after the leadoff triple by Bogart, Kruder and Stankiewicz have been struck out by Benitez. And it'll be up to Chris Prieto for the Dodgers.
Well, that splitter, once again, you start your swing when you face a guy like Benitez who throws the ball so hard, you got to get something going. At times you get something going, he throws you the splitter, and you can't hold up when it's out of the strike zone.
So now it's Prieto. Took over in center field for Tom Goodwin, who went 0 for 3. 0-1 to Prieto. Goodwin and Marquise Grissom in the picture for the center field job with the LA Dodgers. We were talking earlier in the game about Devon White having been traded to the Milwaukee Brewers, and Marquise Grissom, who it can't be said with any degree of certainty is an everyday player anymore, has come to the Dodgers, and that's for Jim Tracy to decide. Goodwin or Grissom, or both. 1 ball, 1 strike on Prieto, with Bogart leading from third and now 2 men away. Hit in the air to right center field. Shinjo and Bragg. And it's the right fielder, Darren Bragg, to make the catch. So, a leadoff triple by Bogart, but Armando Benitez pitches out of it. And in the middle of the 8th, still 2-0 New York.
Weekend warriors who push themselves to the limit. The sports medicine experts and orthopedic specialists of Continuum Hospitals are thankfully here to help.
Nervous about foot odor and wetness? Get Odor Eater's foot powder and kick the problem. Odor Eater's powder gives protection on demand. Even kicks out heavy-duty odor and sweat.
Now put Odor Eaters in, kick foot odor and wetness out.
Hey, Mets fans, Pepsi invites you to show up at Shea on Wednesdays for free admission to the Pepsi picnic area. The first 800 fans with a Pepsi can or bottle will be admitted to the Pepsi picnic area at Shea Stadium for free. Have a great time with your friends and family and enjoy the game from the left field bleachers. The Wednesday night action begins on April 11th when the National League champion Mets host the Atlanta Braves. So bring a Pepsi and show up at Shea for free.
Last of the 8th inning here in Port St. Lucie. Rick Reed was spectacular through 6, allowing just 1 hit, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Dennis Cook pitched a hitless 7th. Armando Benitez worked the 8th inning, giving up a leadoff triple to Bogart. Dodgers couldn't get him home, though. Both Met runs driven in by Desi Relaford. So we go to the last of the 8th, and the Dodgers with a new battery. That's Angel Pena behind the plate. And the new pitcher is Mike Fetters. Fetters 6-2 last year with a 3.24 earned run average, pitching exclusively out of the bullpen. Got into 51 games. The LA area, home to Fetters, who's born in Van Nuys, down in the valley. And Fetters set to go to work against Joe McEwing, leading off for the Mets here in the last of the 8th inning. First plate appearance for McEwing. Well, Jim Tracy just keeping his own lineup card. He's not even worried about the Mets.
Pitt's still in the game.
It should be Prieto. You would think the staff would.
McEwing, an interesting story. The Mets picked him up at the end of spring training last year and then surprised everybody by sending him out.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, see, there's Prieto in the 9th hole. You know what that PIT is? Our brilliant people in the truck, the guys who really get the credit for this thing, they figured it out. That's pitcher, PIT. And this is Fetters, F-E-T-T-E-R-S. But they don't want to keep changing the pitcher, so they just leave it PIT, pitcher. Thank you, Kevin Meininger and John Gallagher and company. That makes sense.
They did a nice job picking that up.
Between all of us, it took 7 innings. What does that tell you about your chances to make the squad when they won't even write your name in there? Jim Tracy doesn't even want to be bothered writing Brett Dixon's name down. Fouled away to the right side by McEwing.
Former manager of the Dodgers sitting next to Tracy there.
Yeah, Glenn Hoffman.
They kept him on when they hired Davey Johnson as their third base coach, and he remains as a third base coach. Joey Malfitano was a long-time third base coach for the Dodgers. Hoffman replaced him.
So Fetters
is mad.
Yeah, because he can't find his name on the lineup card. And the 2-2 to McEwing outside. The guy for whom McEwing was traded last spring, Jesse Orozco, the former Met, non-roster invitee to the LA Dodger camp this year.
Can you manufacture anger? Much fat. Whoop.
Well, that's a modified Raboski right there.
That's manufacturing anger.
That's a right-handed Al Raboski. You got to be a little more idiosyncratic if you're going to really emulate the Mad Hungarian. Generally, the lefties are a little more idiosyncratic than the righties.
And the Mad Hungarian was good entertainment. He was a good pitcher, and he was an entertaining pitcher.
Tell that to Lee Mazzilli. Naz went after him one night after he hit a home run off of him. That's when you know you have the upper hand. Ripped by McEwing into left field. So on a payoff pitch from Fetters, McEwing has a base hit. And Fedez will probably look even angrier on the mound now.
He can't.
That's what spring training's all about, improving your acting skills, too.
Working at your anger. McEwing hit this ball hard in the left field. McEwing taking advantage of that new high strike zone.
And now Matt Franco, who I suppose is a long shot at this point to make the ball club. No ball, it's 1 strike on Matt. Again, there just doesn't appear to be room the way things are shaping up. McEwing and Relaford pretty well solidifying reserve infield spots. And again, the question about whether or not the Mets are going to go with 12 pitchers as opposed to 11. Used to be 9 or 10. Nobody went with 11 pitchers until Dennis Eckersley started working only 1 inning, and then the entire bullpen got more specialized.
Well, one of the things the Mets don't have to do really is carry 3 catchers. A lot of teams have to carry 3 catches, but Mike Piazza is going to catch most of the games.
McEwing running, pitch taken downstairs. McEwing's got a stolen base. Of course, the one drawback to the Mets not having a 3rd catcher is that it makes it harder for Bobby Valentine to use Todd Pratt to pinch hit.
Well, I don't think you would lean on Todd as much for pinch hitting. There's McEwing getting a big jump off first base, stealing second base. We talked about it earlier in the ball game. It's important for a McEwing or a Relaford to take advantage of every opportunity they have to solidify a position on this team.
2-1 to Matt Franco. A lot of times players get to a point, I suppose, Fran, in spring training where they're just as well hoping to attract somebody else's attention as opposed to their own manager, or in addition to their own managers.
Well, if a player can't make this ball club, they're getting enough exposure by Bobby Valentine in front of other teams, because there are a lot of scouts and have been in attendance throughout spring training.
Yeah, and here's a perfect example. I mean, Bobby has basically said that Rich Rodriguez doesn't have a role with this ball club. He was quoted as saying that at the start of spring training. So Rodriguez, who's still under contract this year, will be used the rest of the spring as much to attract interest from other teams as to see whether or not he fits in at all with his ball club. And Rodriguez getting ready to work the 9th. Hit in the air to right center by Franco. Prieto there. McEwing on his way to 3rd. So he tags and goes over. And a good job by Matt Franco, because now he moves a base runner up 90 feet and he can score on an out with 1 away.
And McEwing showing Bobby Valentine and Steve Phillips that he can help by manufacturing a run if he really does score a run here. Matt Franco hits his ball hard. McEwing, after singling and then stealing second base, advances to 3rd on the fly ball. Quickly got back to second base, tagged up, hustled to 3rd. Oh, so 90 feet away from home plate with Todd Pratt, the batter.
First time up for Todd. Mike Piazza went 1 for 3. Infield in. Pratt faked the bunt. McEwing gets back. Either a safety squeeze where Pratt doesn't make contact and the base runner is at no real peril since he's not breaking as the pitch is delivered, or Pratt just decided on his own to square around. The infield is in. The Mets are leading 2-0 here in the last of the 8th inning. McEwing at 3rd with 1 out. Fedez just about was completely off the mound by the time McEwing got back to 3rd base.
All the base runner has to do when a pitcher's in a stretch position here is look at the 3rd base and make sure he's not too close to the bag.
McEwing's going to try it, and now he's in a rundown. Pena, the catcher, running back.
Missed him.
Bogart did not make the tag.
Look at this.
And finally, McEwing is tagged out. And down to second base goes Pratt.
Pretty good rundown by Joe McEwing. It should take one throw, and I'm sure the Dodgers will be upset. You just run the runner back to third base, and one throw gets him. Fetter slips to the catcher. Now you just run him back. Should be one throw, but Bogart missed the tag. He didn't get the ball in time. So McEwing was able to stay in a rundown and allow Todd Pratt to go all the way to second base. Good base running by McEwing, who broke on contact.
It was a 1-2-5-6 fielder's choice, with Pratt now at second base and 2 away. And Jorge Toca had a pretty good spring. Will be the batter for the first time. He replaced Zeal at first base. Todd went 1 for 3. Downstairs to Toca. He looks like he slimmed down. His body fat significantly less than it was one spring ago.
Talked to John Gibbons, who's the AAA manager for the Mets, and he is very high on Toca. Also Alex Escobar,
who was sent to Norfolk yesterday by the Mets.
And John Gibbons had Preston Wilson in the minor leagues. Escobar reminds him a lot of Preston Wilson, who had a 30-30 season with the Marlins last year.
Yeah, just signed a brand new contract too. One and one. And Toca goes the other way. It'll drop in. Around third, Pratt. And he'll score without a throw. 3-0 New York. An RBI single for Jorge Toca.
And you really have to give a lot of credit to Joe McEwing. He reached in a base hit. He stole second base. He went to third base on a routine fly ball to center field. When he broke on contact, he got in a rundown long enough for Pratt to go to second base. Now Toca steps in, loops a ball in right field, and Pratt scores. So McEwing had a lot to do with that run scoring.
So 3-0 New York now. And Tsuyoshi Shinjo, who's 0 for 3 in this game, backed away from the plate by Fetters. Mets have out-hit the Dodgers in this game 10-2 and lead 3-0. Inside 2-0. Toca gets back easily. That's on the inside corner to Shinjo. 2 balls and a strike. Guile will close games for the Dodgers when they have leads in the 9th inning. Jeff Shaw. That's pulled down the third base line. A fair ball. Toca on his way to third. And down to second, where the double is Tsuyoshi Shinjo.
Oh, Shinjo continues to hit the ball hard. So you got Shinjo, who picked up a base hit and is followed closely by the Japanese media. You have McEwing having a nice night, and Desi Relaford, guys who are fighting for jobs in this team. Right down the left field line. And he hustles into second base with a double. Toca going to third on the double.
So that'll bring up Darrell Hamilton with 2 in scoring position. 11 hits now for the Mets. And a strike to Hamilton, who's 1 for 3. Darrell doubled with 1 out in the 7th inning and came around to score on the Desi Relaford double. Inside, a ball and a strike. Toca at third, Shinjo at second. And the Mets trying to create a more comfortable lead. It's 3-0 here in the 8th inning. This was a 1-0 game until that Relaford RBI double in the 7th inning. Hamilton gets under this one. So will Jeff Barry, but it's gone for a home run. That ball kept carrying and carrying, and Darrell Hamilton making a statement himself tonight, along with Relaford.
This has been a big night for guys trying to solidify positions on the ball club. Of course, Hamilton's on the club, but he wants to be a starting right fielder. And he doubled and he homered in this game. Relaford fighting for that job. He's homered in the ball game. McEwing playing a nice game. Shinjo with another hit. So Darrell Hamilton, coming back from an injury from last year, wants a starting position, and right there he helps himself with that home run.
Barry started feeling for the fence before he got to the edge of the warning track.
There's Relaford again.
So the Mets break it open on the 3-run homer by Darrell Hamilton. 6-0 New York. And Relaford hits it well to center. Prieto on the run, warning track at the wall, and it's off the base of the wall. Relaford on his way to second, and Desi Relaford 3 for 4, a homer and 2 doubles.
Well, we talked about Relaford as a shortstop. Ray Ordonez, who was injured last year. Steve Phillips was under the gun to go out and get a shortstop. Well, right now, Relaford is proving that he can be a valuable asset. And I'm sure Bobby Valentine and Steve Phillips happy about that. His 3rd hit of the night, another double. Home run, a couple doubles. He didn't run real hard on that double. He couldn't really, headed for 3rd. You're trying to impress the manager, you pick yourself up a triple. He might have thought he had a home run. Hit that ball a long way, but it's just short of a home run.
That's Jim Colborn, former Major League pitcher, had his best years with the Milwaukee Brewers.
He's telling Fetters, look, I think you're making him mad when you're staring at him. Go easy with the stare tonight.
Now, is Armando Benitez going to pitch the 9th inning? Rich Rodriguez was up before. And with Benitez hitting here in the 8th inning, well, chances are Armando will either hit for himself or with the Mets. Let's see, I believe the Mets are out of players just about now in terms of pinch hitters. So rather than send Rodriguez up or anybody else who might be a candidate to pitch the 9th inning.
Well, if you're not going to use Rodriguez during the season, you might as well let Benitez swing the bat in case he finds himself in that spot once or twice during the year.
Well, the bench will have a pretty good kick out of that. We mentioned that not only Rodriguez, but Gerard Riggin and Mark Leiter were scheduled to pitch as well for the Mets tonight. But Rick Reed kept his pitch count so low, and that's really what it's about. It's not innings pitched, at least with Bobby Valentine. He's more concerned with the number of pitches. And on top of that, how many stressful pitches. You know, are you ahead in the count or balls being fouled off? Benitez.
I like that. You'd have been a good psychiatrist on a baseball team.
Who, me?
Too many
I'm quoting him.
Too many stressful pitches. I want you to rest.
He said there are differences from 70 pitch outing to see. You can pitch 70 pitches in 3 innings, 70 pitches in 7. Darrell Hamilton lost that pitch, and it's 6-0 as we go to the 9th.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Come on now. What you got, baby? Come on. Come on, turn around.
Does that line ever work? What? What do you think is going to happen? You think I'm going to take you home with me? You cannot deliver the kind of happiness that I have at home. You could learn a thing or two.
Perfect look for your home. Call Garden State Brick Face Windows and Exteriors. To find out if our unique products are right for you, call now for a free telephone consultation. It just takes a few minutes. There's absolutely no obligation. 100% financing available. So why wait when a simple call can get you a great new house without spending a fortune?
Call 1-800-248-5585 and ask about our current special discount. Shop from home with our exclusive free telephone consultation. Call 1-800-248-5585.
College basketball at Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable games right here in your own backyard. We want you. Nice doggy. Hey, you're going to the Garden, right?
No garden, just vegetables.
You gotta go. You gotta go. Tie game, right? 6 seconds. The Garden's going crazy. They're looking for an open man. He passes the ball. He shoots. He shoots. He shoots. Yeah. Yeah.
Tickets on sale now for the TiVo NIT at the Garden.
Good team! Good team! Good team! Good team!
3 kids.
It's a very good chance that I might go to the NBA.
3 lives.
Just a matter of doing the right things.
1 dream.
Basketball is my job.
Prep Chicago Hoops, weekdays at 5 on Fox Sports Net.
Mets preseason baseball presented by Sybase. Sybase, the smart way to integrate your business apps on the web. Well, her scorecard's been properly integrated, I would assume. All the mixing and matching that usually goes on during spring training. But here's a surprise. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe Bobby Valentine felt that Armando Benitez going out there another inning, strengthen the arm.
Well, he misses down low.
He didn't have many of those stressful pitches you talked about?
Not me talked about it. I remember him going through that last year. Talking about how there are different criteria for determining when a pitcher's reached his pitch count. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Eric Anthony. Remember Eric Anthony when he came up with the Houston Astros? They thought he was going to be a pretty good power hitter in the major leagues, but that old number 2 got in the way. I don't mean number 02 who's playing out there for the Dodgers. I mean pitch number 2, the curveball.
Yeah, the Astros were very high on him.
At 7 a.m., Hamilton's party reached New Jersey and set out for the woods. In a clearing, Burr was waiting. Judge Pendleton described what happened next.
When Hamilton arrived, the parties exchanged salutations. The seconds proceeded to make their arrangements. They measured the distance, 10 full paces. They cast lots for the choice of position. They then proceeded to load the pistols in each other's presence.
Once Hamilton and Burr had loaded pistols in hand, the rules mandated that they take up positions 20 feet apart. When the signal was given, they had 3 seconds to fire. It was at this point that the 2 seconds gave completely different accounts of Hamilton's actions. According to Judge Pendleton, Hamilton had made a fateful decision, that it would be morally wrong to shoot at Burr.
He had made up his mind not to fire at Burr, but to fire in the air.
But according to Burr's second, William Van Ness, Hamilton showed every sign of intending to shoot his rival.
While his second was explaining the rules, Hamilton raised and leveled his pistol. He then drew from his pocket a pair of spectacles and observed that he was ready to proceed.
Van Ness claimed that Hamilton shot at Burr, but missed. Whatever Hamilton's actions, both seconds agreed that after Hamilton fired, Burr stood unhurt. Now, Hamilton's fate was in Burr's hands.
The fire of Burr took effect, and Hamilton almost instantly fell. Burr then advanced toward Hamilton with a manner and gesture that appeared to be expressive of regret. but without speaking, turned about and withdrew.
The doctor was not optimistic about Hamilton's condition.
His look of death I shall never forget. I observed to Mr. Pendleton that the only chance of reviving him was to immediately get him upon the water.
In the hours after the duel, Aaron Burr returned home and, according to his maid, ate a hearty breakfast. Then he sent a note to the doctor to inquire about Hamilton's health. Burr had shot Hamilton in the stomach, and the bullet had lodged next to his spine. He lingered 36 hours in excruciating pain, with his family and the doctor at his side.
His mind retained all its usual strength and composure. The great source of his anxiety seemed to be in his sympathy with his half-distracted wife and children. He alone could calm the frantic grief of the mother. "Remember, my Eliza, you are a Christian," was the expression with which he frequently, with a firm voice, addressed her. His words and the tone in which they were uttered will live forever in my memory.
Then at 2 p.m. on July 12, 1804, Alexander Hamilton died. News of Hamilton's death sparked nationwide outrage. Ironically, shooting Hamilton, which Burr thought would restore his reputation, instead destroyed it forever.
The few instances among these political duelists when someone actually is killed end up being very bad for the person who's done the killing, because he no longer seems to be a noble man who's defending his name. He appears to be bloodthirsty and somehow vicious. He's crossed a line.
Aaron Burr was one of the first duelists charged with murder. To avoid prosecution, he would be forced to flee New York, leaving behind his mansion and all his possessions. In the years to come, he would lead a foolhardy attempt to invade Mexico, be tried for treason, and be forced into exile in Europe. He would never return to the pinnacle of power. Yet not until he reached old age did Burr admit to having second thoughts about killing Hamilton. Throughout his life, he had kept 2 books in his library. One, which was written by the philosopher Voltaire, advocated a ruthless response to all insults. The other was the novel Tristram Shandy by Lawrence Sterne, in which a man is about to kill a fly, but suddenly stops and instead helps it out the window.
If I had read more Sterne and less Voltaire, perhaps I would have realized that the world was large enough for both Hamilton and me.
In 1836, at the age of 80, Aaron Burr died. But his name would live on, forever linked with that of his rival Alexander Hamilton, with whom he fought the duel.
There's more about the duel on the web. Explore the history of American dueling and visit America in 1806. PBS.org or America Online keyword PBS. Greed made him millions. Philanthropy